Joe Biden had a big gaffe right at the same time as Kamala Harris was giving the exact opposite message to the American people, and it showed Joe Biden's true mindset about Trump supporters and everyday Americans. It's Sean Daniel here. If you guys enjoy the videos, consider subscribing. Now let's see what I'm talking about.
I talked with Governor Walz yesterday. Okay. He compared Trump's rally on Sunday to that of one of the Nazi rallies in the 30s at Madison Square Garden. Do you compare that? Do you find that a similar comparison?
Listen, this election is in 7 days, and I think the American people have a very clear choice. And on the one hand, you have Donald Trump, who is constantly fanning the flames of division and hate, who is trying to have the American people point their fingers at each other, or my leadership, which is founded on a lived and experience that the vast majority of us have more in common than what separates us.
A few moments later.
In my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Trump supporters.
His demonization of is unconscionable, and it's un-American.
Now let's see Trump's live reaction.
Right. Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I have breaking news for you, Mr. President. You may not have heard this. Just moments ago, Joe Biden stated that our supporters are garbage.
Trump's like, thank God he said it. Oh, I can use this.
He's talking about the Border Patrol. He's talking about nurses. He's talking about teachers. He's talking about everyday Americans who love their country and want to dream big again and support you, Mr. President. And I hope their campaign is about to apologize for what Joe Biden just said. We are not garbage. We are patriots who love America. And thank you for running, Mr. President.
We're going to see the clarification message that Joe Biden's team puts out to try to cover it.
Wow.
It doesn't work. Now let's see Trump. Trump's like, ooh, how do I handle this? I gotta address this correctly and take advantage of it. How's he gonna do it?
That's terrible. That's what it says. That's what it says. So you have, remember Hillary, she said deplorable? And then she said irredeemable, right? But she said deplorable. That didn't work out. Garbage, I think, is worse, right? But he doesn't know. You have to please forgive him. Please forgive him.
Here we go.
For he not knoweth what he said.
Does he know what he's saying? Well, when you watch this video, it looks like he's reading from a script.
Donald Trump has no character. He doesn't give a damn about the Latino community. He's a failed businessman. He only cares about the billionaire friends he has and accumulating wealth for those at the top. You know, he says immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. Give me a break. He wants to do away with the birthright citizenship. Who the hell has said that in the last 100 years? And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Ooh.
His demonization of is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done, everything we've been.
So if you notice, his eyes are reading a script, right? Right here. You see they move left to right. I know the quality isn't the greatest, but he's reading something. He could have gone off script a little bit just to share what he really thinks, but he was lost. He was, he can't keep track. And even bigger, Joe is sitting in the White House doing this recording, right? At the same time while Kamala Harris is out here doing a press conference on the White House lawn. He can't even go out to support her in the same thing. That's how bad a shape he's in. And his campaign came out and had to clarify after these remarks on a tweet saying, earlier today, I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump's supporter at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, which is the only word I can think of to describe it. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say. The comments at that rally don't reflect who we are as a nation. Joe's comments actually really just support and showcase what he really thinks about Trump supporters and what Kamala Harris thinks about Trump supporters. Now, what do Democrats on CNN do in response to this gaffe by Joe Biden? How can they defend it? Well, they don't, but they also do.
Governor, first off, just what's your response to that comment from President Biden, where it sounds like he's calling Trump supporters there garbage?
Yeah, look, I had not heard that until now, Caitlin, so I'm kind of giving you my fresh reaction to it. I would never insult the good people of Pennsylvania or any Americans, even if they chose to support a candidate that I didn't support.
Say, though, Bakari, he was in his house, the White House. He was in his house doing this, and the reporting is that there are places that he can be useful, but he's not everywhere, like you might expect a sitting president to be for his vice president.
I don't know that I would expect this president to be everywhere in this moment. I mean, look, a critical element, any coach will tell you, any CEO will tell you, a critical element of running a team and winning is assessing the strengths and weaknesses of your team members and making sure you allocate them in the right way. Joe Biden has never been a big arena speaker. He's never been the most fluid speaker. And by the way, as someone who had a stutter growing up, it's very obvious to me that there's an apostrophe at the end of supporters there. He was referring to the garbage spewed by supporters, not simply the supporters themselves. But Joe Biden has been on the campaign trail. He's best getting ice cream in Maryland, like he was today. Oh, my God,
here comes
He's
this
best
guy.
showing moments of empathy in
Ready to kiss his
Arizona, like
ass.
he was last week. He's best with union folks, as he was in Pittsburgh last week as well. You use people where they are best. You put Obama in a big arena, you put Michelle in a big arena, and you put Joe Biden in front of a bunch of union people doing retail politics.
You could make the argument that they would be fine if Joe Biden wasn't anywhere near a microphone between now and next Tuesday.
That is true, because she's literally outside. Kamala Harris is on the White House lawn doing an event, and he doesn't even come out, but he does a little laptop video. It's the same as me.
Let me just accept the most charitable framing of this, which you just gave.
Get him, Scott.
Why is he sitting in front of a laptop at the exact same moment Kamala Harris is out on his backyard trying to give the closing argument to her campaign? What in the world is he doing? Now, I don't accept your framing of it personally, because I actually do believe he, Harris, the Democratic Party, and most of their campaign do believe that half the country is garbage. They've also said people who go to Trump rallies are Nazis. And so it's pretty apparent the disdain with which they hold half of the country in.
That's not true. We've already litigated it in Kamala's speech tonight.
But as a tactical matter today,
no, but you don't just get to say
why in the world is Joe Biden giving remarks at the same time as Kamala Harris?
I'll give you that.
He says, I'll give you that. Okay, Joe Biden should not be doing an interview speech thing at the same time as Kamala Harris is having a speech on the front lawn of the White House. But it's just amazing how much these people take orders for what they got to say from above, or they're literally that blinded and that sold out to Kamala Harris that they can't see the issue with this. They're just like, he doesn't need to be anywhere. He's so strong. Man, we see in his eyes that Joe Busy Biden is not there mentally. We see it in his eyes. He is not there at all. But the supporters are still going to be like, oh, man, he still has such great strengths. That tells you everything you need to know about how much they trust Joe Biden, the Democrats that are running the strategy in the campaign. They do not trust him one bit to be anywhere. And also, since this guy, Ben Shapiro of Pennsylvania, is willing to go against Joe Biden, it tells you that Joe Biden is really on the way out. He has no more power anymore. And they're not willing to sit there and kiss his bum and follow his direction and support him. They're willing to say what's kind of true sometimes, because they won't say it in this other situation with this idiot. But thankfully, we got Scott Jennings taking a stand and saying what needs to be said. It's SeanDaniel here. If you guys enjoyed the videos, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Or watch one right here.